Dear academic family, welcome to the opening session, opening meeting of the academic year, Tallinn University of Technology. At today's meeting, Professor Rector Tiit Land will summarize the past academic year and present plans for the upcoming academic year. We will also acknowledge and recognize the colleagues who have served the university and will receive a 25-year-old service golden badge. Now, let's give the stage to the rector, Professor Tiit Land. Dear academic family, dear previous rector of the university, dear friends, I would like to wish us all a happy new and successful new academic year. And before going into the contents of today's opening meeting, I would like to also continue the tradition of reading the names of those colleagues whom we need to commemorate today because they have passed away the previous year. Madli Krispin, Kairi Kasemets, Jüri Kirs, Wilhelm Kracht, Veljo Lauringson, Jaan Metsaveer, Peeter Raesaar, Uusi Raukas, Valdu Suurkask, Jaak Tamberg, Andri Teaste, Tiit Tiidemann, Mati Valdma, Raivo Vokk, and Jüri Lamp. But we will now continue with the first presentation of today's opening meeting. And as the tradition goes, I would like to give you a short summary, an overview of the previous academic year. And I would also like to give you a short overview of admission of new students. I can already say that in the last 4 years, this year's admission has been on the highest level, the best. There are also some buts in this situation, but we will also need to discuss the things which are more challenging. I would like to summarize the previous academic year also to see how far we have reached to fulfilling our strategic plan. We have KPIs. KPIs can be followed in Power BI and smart environments, as you know. And in the last year, we also adopted a new aspect that you can see the fulfilling of the strategic plan KPIs by schools as well as for the university as a whole. On May 10th, we also had annual seminar where a strategic plan's situation of fulfilling the KPIs was introduced, as well as the outlooks and challenges were discussed. KPIs of the strategic plan, I do not want to test your eyesight because it's in small print and you don't have to read all these numbers, but I just want to emphasize that we have 16 KPIs of the strategic plan, and I would like to also tackle with the new challenges in my today's presentation when we are on the way to form a new strategic plan, then analysis of the KPIs which have been already fulfilled and to what extent is also very important prerequisite of creating the new strategic plan. We are now talking about the academic year of 2023-2024. The KPIs have been actually stipulated for 2021 to 2025. And I would like to highlight maybe the ones which are more challenging in today's situation. Having a look at the academic year 2023-2024, we can say that the target levels set for 2025 we are on the way of achieving those aims in case of some KPIs, and in cases of some we are failing to do so. But the most important KPI perhaps in the study field could be of the number or the percentage of graduates with nominal time. We could say that it is very important of how many graduates we have in total, whether the students study 3, 4, or 6 years on the BA level. It is important that they graduate and the university has fulfilled its mission. Yes, you could say so, but in today's situation where the Estonian state provides the students with tuition-free higher education, we also have to see that we are obliged to provide 60% of students graduating with nominal time. And in order to get to the higher education performance-based financing from the Estonian state, this KPI is quite important. Today, we can say that the share of students who graduate with nominal time is about 50%, more exact 47%. When we in 2022 were quite optimistic, we had a slight increase. We reached 52% was the share of graduates with nominal time. Now we can say that we have downgraded a bit to the level of 47%. If we take a look at the schools separately, then the Dean of School of Business and Governance said this morning that it is about 60% the share of graduates with nominal time. And then School of Science also reaches 60%, but the rest of the three schools we have, Estonian Maritime Academy, IT School, and School of Engineering, unfortunately, are considerably lower than the 60% aim we have. Of course, we cannot say that there's one or two reasons. It's most likely a combination of several reasons why it is the case, but it's important for us to also acknowledge it and to act based on these statistics. And also, our vice rectors are doing something on a daily basis in order to change that. There are several measures which we have been adopting. For instance, in the School of Engineering, one measure is also to support people to graduate with nominal time. And by 2024, says the speaker, we have taken this aim of achieving the 60% graduates with nominal time also in the School of Engineering. Now, next KPI, which is important for us and which is perhaps a bit challenging for us, is the share of MA programs in which more than 75% of contact hours are given by staff members with a doctoral degree. Our aim is 100%, of course, and what we see today is that in the School of Science, it is 75% out of this 100% aim, and in other schools, it is considerably lower. When you now ask me why did we agree on this KPI in the beginning of 2021, we had a very great aim, ambitious aim, that BA students could also see professors giving lectures to them in the lecture hall. And when we asked an international council for advice, when we saw them in the beginning of the summer, and the ex-rector of, or former rector of the Munich Technical University also considered it very important that doctoral degree or professors would go and speak to the BA students as well, so that the BA students would be able to get to know them and would also get this knowledge shared and taught by professors themselves. The next slide shows us that there are good news and not so good news. This is KPI considering the average income of master's graduates in relation to the average wage in Estonia in 2023. This morning's news said that it is over 2,000 euros today, but the statistical office in Estonia gives us the data, and we can also see what the situation is like. The strategic plan foresaw that this should be 1.65. The average for 2023 was a bit higher, even 1.71. It is a good news, but the bad news is that it's not equal in different schools. For instance, in the School of Science, which is quite worrisome, is that it's 1.35. And this also reduces the attractiveness of some of the study programs in the School of Science. At the same time, the Estonian labor market needs the specialists from this field. The School of Engineering has not reached yet the level of 1.65 either, but the rest of the schools have. And then the fourth very important KPI in the field of study are the revenue from study activities. And the biggest revenue source is the activity support for the study work, which we get from the Ministry of Education. This is 75.9%. And when we take a look at the support in the last 2 years, we have seen that the activities support has been increased both for 2023 to 2024 by 15%. 2 years ago, if you remember, the Rectors' Council rectors and government sat down and through a lot of media noise also agreed that activity support will be increased by 15% per year. The government has kept its promise in the last 2 years, but let's now see what's going to happen in the next year. And then also tuition fee part, the share has been reduced a bit because we have less foreign students, and other revenue sources have been decreasing a bit as well. Also, it's good to see that the continuing education share has been a bit bigger. So the aim with the revenue from study activities is over 70,000 for the next period. You see also that in the next 3 to 5 years, we can say that we do get quite considerable amounts of money, and you see the measures and support measures soon enough in my presentation, but we need to have absorption capacity in order to be able to use up all this money we are going to be receiving, and this is a challenge. Now going to research, what is most important for us and for me, I believe, is the quality of our publications. The number of Q1 articles per academic staff member with a doctoral degree is what you see here. We were afraid that we might shoot ourselves in the foot when we set this KPI, considering that we might just publish a lot, but not on a level which is high enough. This is fortunately not true. We have seen that the level we have set for 2025 was 0.7. You see that most of the, or all of the schools are there. So all the schools have been working a lot and have been very successful in achieving this aim. And now coming to the proposals and support which we have received through different projects, we see that there's also a correlation between the proposals and projects agreed and the support received, as well as the high quality publications we have. 3 years ago, we also understood that the next KPI we set, which was the doctoral thesis defended, the target level was 90. We understood that it's very ambitious. And we see that the number has been 74, and now last year 73, so quite stable. We will know what the number will be for 2024 soon enough. And it has been divided per schools, as you see as well. Engineering school had a little decrease last year, but the others had an increase, so about the same level. But for sustainability, of course, it plays an important role. This is something I will speak about at the later stage as well. So now the next KPI, volume of R&D project per full-time equivalent academic staff member. When we set the aim, the level for 2025, it was difficult for us to foresee what this volume of R&D work could be, because years are quite different. In the last 3 years, we saw backdrop, but also this is correlated with new measures which opened up, and you see that we had almost twofold increase. Oh yes, more than twofold increase in the past year. And today we are in a situation where we do have support money and financing available. Also, the volume increase has been steady, also has been there in 2024. You see the sums in euros in one axis, and then you see that we are on the level of 60 million, just about. In 2023, we see TEMTA, which are thematic research areas which were initiated, and we also see that 20 million euros is foreseen for the next 4 years. And we were very successful with these focus areas, and it was almost groundbreaking in a sense that these focus groups, which has also oil shale as a term in it, was also financed. Having the means of a just transition fund, first of all, or previously, where oil shale was left out completely. Using oil shale not only in the energy field, but using oil shale in general is very important to me. So next, the KPIs in the entrepreneurial field are here. I'm not going to read them all. There are quite many of them. In the last 3 years, in the entrepreneurial field, we have been in steady progress, some backdrops as well. But what I can say that the annual revenue from R&D contracts and services in million euros per year, it is a big challenge. 2024, you see it's 10.8 million. It was connected to the smart measure at that time. Now we have applied sciences measure, where institutions and enterprises do not have the obligation to involve universities, which makes it a bit more challenging. But by 2025, our aim is 13 million. Let's wait and see how it goes. But this is definitely one area which is very important for the Tallinn University of Technology, in order to collaborate more with private companies, and also have more input through that to the Estonian economy and private sector. And we are, according to our slogan, the engine of Estonian economy. So this is the way for us to also play our part. Number of multinational and other startups established annually in 2024, 3 + 5, and 2025, the level is 4 + 6. So there are quite some in the pipeline today. We remain very hopeful. And then the next KPI, which is also important, is in order to see how our people are satisfied with the work at the university, as well as the reputation index at 93, 92. And the same goes to Kantar Emor also surveys how the staff members are satisfied. So the TRIM index of satisfaction in 2024 in the spring. No, the speaker corrects himself and says in 2023, at the end of 2023, poll was carried out. We see that 68 was the result. So considering the more turbulent times in the last 2 years, considering different crises, including very high inflation, and also that the higher education was not financed the way it should have been in the last 2 years, and that people's wages suffered as a result as well. I believe that this satisfaction index actually shows a quite good result with all this background. Now, in the field of green work, we are on the way of putting together a climate neutral university roadmap. One of the key indicators of the university of TalTech strategic plan was to achieve a climate neutral university by 2035. How we will get there and when is another question, but this was the aim we set at that time. Then the university adopted a green strategy 2023 to 2035, which outlines the goals and key indicators for achieving climate neutrality. And in the beginning of this year, we put together a working group in order to achieve the result of getting the greening roadmap. And the aim of this working group is to find numerical targets also for the key indicators in the strategic plan to move towards climate neutrality, and also to draw up possible scenarios of how to get to those targets. So we are in 2024 today. We need to achieve the aims set by 2035. The working group will present their result of their work and then provides also the possible scenarios of how to get to these aims. Before moving on to admissions and to the beginning of the different activities of this academic year, which will start, I'm going to speak about the financial situation and developments of the university as well. You see that you see the dynamics of the last 8 years. So real numbers or concrete numbers in millions of euros on the left-hand side and shares on the right-hand side. We see that in the last years there has been increase in the activity support, because there were many years where the activity support was stagnating. There were very many good years where state revenue increased and GDP increased as well, but the higher education did not receive any share of it. So thus we ask whether we are sustainable at all, whether we will have professors, lecturers that we can pay so that they would not leave us. And the biggest increase is in the financing of research, but here we definitely need to recognize also the Estonian state, because the basis financing of research was increased twofold. And this was a political decision in order to have the research support and research activity support and 50-50 scale. So this enabled to increase the research basis financing. But when we now think about what will happen to those numbers in the future, we know that the biggest challenge for the next year and next years is that ministries have received order, or at least have received the guidelines of cutting the costs by 10% in 3 years. So 5 years in the first, 5% in the first year, and then to follow up so that it will be 10% eventually. So now the question is what will happen in the next year. Today we have August 26th. In 5 weeks' time, the latest, the Estonian government needs to agree on the new budget, and the numbers which the Minister of Finance will have will be put together and compiled and presented to the Parliament by the end of the next month. This is the information we have today. The Minister of Education has said to the Rectors' Council several times that the main instruments of research and higher education is not the first thing that they will do, but let's wait and see. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, the rectors have been invited to the minister in order to discuss the possible budget cuts. But we see that in the state budget strategy, there should be a 15% increase in the activity support. This means 7 to 8 million euros per year for our university. If a cut will be from the increase of the financing, it's a different story, but we will wait and see. In the next few weeks, we will know much more. But now, having a look at the numbers of academic staff members, you see that a comparison in years. When we take a look at the tenured professors, you see the level is the same. And junior professors, we created this position in the career development 3 years ago, and started fulfilling the posts 1.5 years ago. Today we have 16 junior professors, and it is an upward tendency. Then number of lecturers has been increased, and lead researchers. And numerically, we see that the biggest group we have are PhD students and junior researchers, which in the last week, when I asked for the statistic, was 296 people. Now, as I promised, we will speak about the admission of new students. We had the best year in the comparison of quite some years. As I said before, these numbers could change a little bit, but taking a look at the bigger picture, we can say that we are a bit short of 3,000 new students. When you compare these numbers with the last academic year and the one before, you see that the increase has been both in the first level of study and the second level of study. And we can also say that 2022-23, we had a very big downward trend. So in the second level, we see that 1,108 new students were admitted. We do not have the number of doctoral students here yet. This will be supplemented soon when we have the numbers. But I can also say that there is a slight increase in the doctoral students admissions as well. But if we now see zoom out and see what has happened in the last 3 years, then the total admissions have been increased by 14%, in the first level of study 10%, and in the second level of study 20%. And then in connection with the administrative contract, we have a responsibility compared to the previous academic year to admit 12% more students to the faculty or the School of Engineering. But of course, the other part of the coin is the 60% of the graduates with nominal time, which we also have in the administrative contract. We had a slight reduction of the admissions to the School of IT, and then we had an increase in the School of Business and Governance. Business and administration group, according to the administrative contract, we should keep the admissions on the same level. Now the question is, how can we do it? Because we do not have a limit in numbers, and setting these limits is quite complicated as well. But now, having a look at what were the most popular programs in the BEA studies, then business administration of IT systems, then design and construction, and then mechatronics, as well as applied science in business. And taking a look at what influences our admissions in general, then in undergraduate admission, we have admission based on thresholds. At least 50 points out of the 100 point level in the state examination in broad mathematics. And then average score in 2024 for the national examination in comprehensive mathematics, 52.8 out of 100. And we take a look at the students we admitted and compare them with this at least 50 points out of 100 in this state broad math exam. We see that the situation is very dreadful. In the current academic year, a bit more than 5,000 high school graduates carried out the examination in broad mathematics, receiving 52.8 out of 100 as the average score. And there is a slight increase in this narrow mathematics exam as well. And I have said it several times as well. It is high time to do away with these two national mathematics exams at different levels and have just one exam. And for the School of Engineering, we set the 50-point requirement, not only the absolute aim, but we adapted the thresholds a little bit so that we invited the people who were a bit below the threshold also to come to study with us. And it is our duty then to help them also to succeed in their studies. Here is a little summary of where our students come from. Pärnu-Koidula Secondary School has been the most prominent one. Most of them in the School of Engineering. And in the top 10, if you see on the third level, Tallinn Real School was as well, and we were quite happy and optimistic as well. And in the top 10, they did not achieve a position, and also the Secondary School of Nõo and Tallinn 21st Secondary School has been quite successful here. We collaborate with them as well. Now, taking a look at the number of foreign students, these are quite similar to previous years. I said that the tuition-based admission has been reduced and our revenues through that as well. When the share of foreign students was a couple of years ago 15%, now it is 10%. So our internationalization program is not only ours, but also for other universities. We do know that there are certain regions where it is very difficult to get a visa in order to come and study in Estonia. and this is a question which has been also asked by the Minister of Education. The aim is to have the level of foreign students to 15% in the next years. It's also a good question to discuss together with potential employers, since the companies are facing difficulties here as well. We see that we have 376 applicants for 49 programs. That is then micro degree programs or micro credentials. Lifelong learning today is not only a buzzword, but it is a reality. Everybody needs to continue studying. Now, the new measures which are going to be initiated in the study domain, millions of euros that will help to improve the revenue from the study work for us, but also need to be carried out in practice. Two measures were added here to the list, but let's start from the top. It's not perhaps a question of priority, just they have been listed randomly. Education for a Just Transition 2023-2029. You see that the Tallinn University of Technology budget, we are not only small brothers or sisters or partners in this consortia, but a lead partner. Then green skills to support enterprises. University's budget, you see that it's a big share of IT Academy. University of Tartu, Tallinn University of Technology is presented, and also Tallinn University. And then in the green transition, Just Transition, our East Viru College is the main participant here. And then Engineering Academy, definitely not least important. It has been designed for a long time. Whether it is the way our vision envisaged in the first place, it is has been diluted a bit, has become less academic or less ambitious than we foresaw. Because in the situation we are lacking the number of engineers in the same amount that we have today in the labor market. We need to have a more ambitious measure. But the budget for the next 3 to 4 years is a bit less than 8 million euros, with a total of 12.5 million. It is a very important measure for us, and it is important also to see how we can fulfill these activities and aims, because the Engineering Academy needs to increase the number of engineering students, reduce the number of dropouts. And we have selected the total of 6. No, the speaker corrects himself, says 8 study programs, 3 BA, 3 MA, and 2 integrated projects, programs, School of Engineering as well as School of IT. And Engineering Academy also has other different activities. As I said, in case of some programs, we admitted students from below the threshold. Then in the Engineering Academy measure foresees 80,000 euros in order to improve and help the students to improve their skills in mathematics in order to be able to cope and manage with the studies at all. This will be carried out by Institute of Cybernetics. So the biggest measure is definitely R&D measure for just the transition in East Viru County. more than 22 million euros. So we have a consortium by our university and the University of Tartu with 22 research teams. So it's the biggest research, which also includes financing for infrastructure measures. But it's important, as I said, that we are capable of absorbing these measures and putting the money where the mouth is. Now, centers of excellence in our focal areas in collaboration with different companies. This is above schools collaboration program in order to increase the cooperation within universities, also achieve bigger external financing. We also finance it centrally from the we have a reserve of 1 million euros for the next years, and we have this focal centers of excellence here as well. When I named the vice rectors for entrepreneurship, and here you see different trends of our green strategy, and you have been and we have summed up these focus areas. So the 6 ones here above, and this is a measure which is above the schools. So the aim is to make the old schools we have participating, and it has been launched quite well. And also, you might know that our trialogue, in order to increase the visibility of our university and also support the career development of our staff members, dialogue.taltech.ee is the place to go and see and also publish your own stories. Within this academic year, we also discussed the changes in our statutes, and the Senate proposed some changes, and these were agreed with as well. The aim was to increase the role of academic staff in the university's governance model, and the Senate will include representatives of all institutes, including colleges. Today's composition of the Senate will be active until the end of the mandate, 3 years until the end of this year. But in the future, the Senate will include the representatives of all institutes, including colleges, Estonian Maritime Academy students, doctoral students, and also, in addition to the vice rector and the chancellor, the rectorate is also composed of the deans. And the action plans of the faculties are drawn up in parallel with the university's development plan and approved at the same time as the implementation plan. So if there is a big gap between the strategic plan and the implementation plan, then we cannot expect the schools to fulfill the aims of the strategic plan on time. So these two plans should be composed in parallel. And the directors of the institute in the future will be appointed by the dean. On Monday, the 2nd of September, a new director of the Institute of Electroenergetics and Mechatronics will start to work, and this person was already appointed by the dean the first time. And you see here the organigram, who is elected by whom, and you see the arrow here, the rector's office, it is important to include all these partners in the best way. In addition to the vice rectors and the chancellor, we now also have the deans of the schools included in the rector's office. In the last year, I have worked quite a lot in order to have the deans integrated into the team of the rector's office. And I hope that this will also continue in the next year. And I understand that you might be a bit hesitant whether this new structure will dilute the decision-making of the rector or will prolong the decision-making progress and process. Yes, it might be the case, but for me, good quality decisions are the ones which are well negotiated and also agreed with by different parties. And this might not prolong the process at all. So if it is agreed, discussed, and when no common denominator is found and agreement is not found, then the rector will decide. So I see several of these challenges on my desk as well in the next year, so that the team building of this new structure would really be influential and will be put into practice well. I also thank the deans for this common understanding. But now let's continue with the biggest challenges. These are a bit abstract. What can we do in order to reduce student dropout rates? We have different measures and different activities. So there's no one magic bullet which will help in order to reduce the dropout right away to get lower percentages. Also, next challenge is to ensure the next generation of Estonian language academics. Today's doctoral studies have reached to the breaking point. The number of doctoral students who come from Estonia and from elsewhere is about 50-50 in share. When this tendency continues, and we have in the next few years more foreign doctoral students, this is not bad, of course, because they do good research, they are motivated and so on. But the question is whether they will remain here in Estonia to work in the future, to work for our university or any university, to work, continue working in the Estonian language. We see that especially in some areas where when today's tendency will continue, it is very difficult to teach in the Estonian language. The question is whether the Estonian society will accept it, because when the IT specialists will be trained in the English language is one thing in the future, but when engineers will be taught only in English or technicians, it is a completely different story. So we do not have strategic engineering also professorships today. These specialists are lacking. Quite some challenges still here listed. I'm not going to read them all, but I can also sum up saying in a very Estonian way that we're not doing bad, or the other way around, we're doing quite well. Because we see that we have a higher quality of science and research. It's an upward trend. Our graduates and alumni are valued in the labor market. The staff satisfaction is stable. Capacity to attract competitive funding is growing. Student organizations are becoming more active. And the Formula One of our students, you might have noticed in the summer, won one race in Austria in the summer. Because tens of thousands of students have tried to build this machine in Europe, and ours was the best one. So this is definitely something worth noticing. Now, what the new academic year will have for us. Basing funding for higher education research from the national budget is a very important question. How we will able to increase the salary of our staff members, empowering the School of Engineering and the School of IT in the 2025 budget, launching of the new strategic plan, and of course, all the financing issues are largely dependent on the situation of the state budget as well. The new council decided in May that the next strategic plan will be launched when the council will end its mandate and the new one will start. That will take place at the end of January 2025. But today's council said that the next strategic plan is not only involving the 5-year term, but a 10-year term. So correcting of the strategic plan as well as the implementing plan is a process which we will continue with in September, and elections for the rector in the first part of the 2025. So to sum up, every time I have been in front of you, standing here in these annual events, I have said, and I will continue saying, that the development and the quality of our university are ensured by our people. We can do whatever in the rector's office and now including the deans as well to the ivory tower. But the question is how to get to the people who actually do the work in different institutes. Investing more into people is important also from this respect. In the last year, we had remarkable addition to salary to people who carry out study work as well. In the next year, we want it to be a part of the salary, not just addition to it, so that the tendency will continue and the trend will continue. To sum up, I would like to thank you all, and wish us all a nice and successful new academic year. Thank you. Thank you to the rector, Piet Land. Now it is time to recognize the colleagues who have been working 25 years at our university. I would like to invite Professor Piet Land, the rector again, and the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, Hendrik Wold, to take the stage. In order to receive the recognition of the 25-year service golden badge, we would like to invite Ragnar Kalamees from the Center of Open Education, Head of Center and Development Manager, to the stage. The service golden badge will be also given to Elna Aun, lecturer of the Estonian Maritime Academy. She was unfortunately not able to attend today's ceremony, but let's give her a big round of applause nevertheless. Thank you to Hendrik Woll. Now, we would like to invite Professor Gert Järven, Dean of School of Information Technologies, to the stage. The golden badge will be awarded to Erkki Eesar, Associate Professor in the Department of Software Science. The Golden Badge will be awarded to Artur Jutman, research from the Center of Trustworthy and Efficient Computing Hardware. The Golden Badge will be issued to Sven Numme, Professor in the Department of Software Science. The Golden Badge is issued to Tarmo Uustalu, the leading researcher in the Department of Software Science. "25-year service Golden Badge is also issued to Taivo Kangilaski, senior researcher at the Department of Software Science. He is not able to attend today, but let's give him a big round of applause nevertheless. Thank you to Gert Jerman, to the Dean. Now we would like to invite Professor Fyodor Sergeyev, the Dean of School of Engineering, to the stage. The 25-year service Golden Badge is issued to Marina Krichkevaya, Associate Professor at the Department of Materials and Environmental Technology. The Golden Badge is also issued to the Senior Lecturer of the Department of Electrical Power Engineering and Mechatronics, Yelena Shuvalova. The Golden Badge is awarded to the lead researcher of the Department of Electrical Power Engineering and Mechatronics, Dmitry Minnikov. Unfortunately, not all of the laureates of the Golden Badge of the School of Engineering were able to participate, but let's give them a big round of applause as well. And the ones who are receiving the Golden Badge are Technician Laboratory Assistant from the Institute of Energy Technology, Ige Brempel. Study Information System Specialist from the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, Sirje Roosmer. And Associate Professor of the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, Hans Rämmal. Thank you to the Dean, Fyodor Sergeyev. And let's now invite the Dean of the School of Science, Professor Andrus Salupere, to the stage. The Golden Badge is awarded to Kaia Laane, a lecturer at the Department of Chemistry and Biotechnology. The Golden Badge is also awarded to the Professor of the Department of Chemistry and Biotechnology, Peep Palumaa. Golden Badge is also awarded to the Senior Researcher of the Department of Marine Systems, Liis Sipelgas. The Golden Badge is also awarded to Professor Emeritus Rein Vaikmäe, a Counselor of the Department of Geology. Golden Badge is also awarded to Siim Veski, Professor at the Department of Geology. The Golden Badge is also awarded to Professor Aivo Lepland from the Department of Geology. He cannot unfortunately attend today, but let's give him nevertheless a big round of applause. Thank you to the Dean, Andrus Salupere. Let us now invite the Dean of the School of Business and Governance, Mari Avarma, to the stage. The Golden Badge is awarded to the Senior Lecturer Lina Randman from the Department of Business Administration. The Golden Badge is also awarded to Rein Riisalu, lecturer from the Department of Business Administration. Tallinn University of Technology also awards the Golden Badge to the head of finance of the School of Business and Governance, Heidi Kärmas, who cannot attend today's ceremony, but we would like to give her a big round of applause. Thank you to the Rector, Tiit Land, and to the Dean, Mari Avarmaa. Again, a big round of applause to everybody who received the 25-year service Golden Badge today. This is the end of the festive part of our opening meeting, and we now invite everyone to the Academics Alley for a picnic. Happy 107th academic year to everybody. Mente et manu.